Did Stripe just say that? Remember the episode Library? The one where Muffin goes full Muffin and creates absolute anarchy in the library? Remember why she thought she could just run the place?
Muffy, you're the most special kid in the whole world.
She acts that way because her old man told her she was the most special of all the puppies. Realizing the monster he's created, Uncle Stripe goes to make things right. But what does he say?
You know how I said you're the most special kid in the world?
Yes.
Well, you're not.
That's wild! And what's more wild is that Muffy just accepts it, realizes her place in the world, and order is restored. If only it was that simple. But maybe it is. Cause let's keep it a buck, real life muffins aren't nearly as fun as this one is. And you know what they say about being special.
Everyone's special, Dash. Which is another way of saying no one is.
Do you think Elmo would like Bluey? Like he'd sit down and watch the show? I think so. And I also think he might have some problems with the episode Seesaw. Not with the message. The way they tackled ableism without being super obvious about it is something straight out of the Sesame Street playbook. I'm talking about the extra friends that Old Man Bandit brought to play. For those who don't know, Elmo has a long-standing beef with Zoe's pet rock, Rocky, and has been spending years trying to get Zoe to see Rocky for who he really is. So imagine how Elmo must feel seeing Old Man Bandit with not just a pet rock, but the pet rock has a pet rock. Elmo don't get mad often, but I think at this point our furry red Muppet might rage quit this episode.
Rocco's just a rock! Rocco's not alive!
This is why there are no villains in Bluey. In the episode Circus, we're introduced to Hercules, the big boy in the yard who isn't afraid to throw his weight around. He's brash, obnoxious, and rude, aka the perfect character to go against Bluey and crew. He forces Winston to play his game, and then he tries to wrangle Bingo and Coco into the same fate. But Bluey breaks through the brashness with cooperation and kindness to win over the big boy. And next thing you know, everyone's having a good time. Sesame Street has Oscar, Dora has Swiper, and Bluey had Hercules for a whole 8 minutes. This is why there are no villains in Bluey. In the episode Circus, we're introduced to Hercules, the big boy in the yard who isn't afraid to throw his weight around. He's brash, obnoxious, and rude, aka the perfect character to go against Bluey and crew. He forces Winston to play his game, and then he tries to wrangle Bingo and Coco into the same fate. But Bluey breaks through the brashness with cooperation and kindness to win over the big boy. And next thing you know, everyone's having a good time. Sesame Street has Oscar, Dora has Swiper, and Bluey had Hercules for a whole 8 minutes. You have a bed for a reason. Can we talk about the real message in the Bluey episode Sleepy Time? Yeah, the wonder of dreams, the unlimited power to do whatever you want in your sleep, blah, blah, blah. But what if Bingo's wild romp in space was really just a PSA to sleep in your own bed? Think about it. Bingo can't sleep in her own room, so she spends the whole night invading everybody else's beds, messing up their sleep cycles, while she gets to play space ballerina. Sure, it looks like everybody's all good by the end of it, but we all know that in real life, Bingo would have been put in the doghouse for these shenanigans. Nah, let everyone get their shut-eye in peace, just relax, and you'll be in dreamland in no time. And that's why the real lesson behind Sleepy Time is... Bluey just invented the best car game. I don't know if this was a thing before, but let's just give the show some credit here. In Escape, B&B are on their way to get spoiled rotten by Nana Healer, but they're bored and wish they could just watch TV. The solution? Bandit and Chili cook up a scenario in which they have to get away from the kids, and the only limit is their imagination. It gets crazy. By the end, everybody's in space, there's bribery, sabotage, intrigue. The whole thing turns into an old Looney Tunes cartoon. Except without all the problematic stuff. But before you know it, they're at Nana's place, where all they want to do is draw out the adventure they just had. Anyone ever play this game? Let's see it in the comments. But I just needed to put it out there that... So what's the deal with Chunky Chip anyway? In the episode Road Trip, the healers are on the road for a break when Bluey brings up a certain chimpanzee from the episode movies. But I don't get it. The Chunky Chip movie was clearly meant as a Lion King send-off, but now CC has his own game, but the game is based off of the OG Donkey Kong where Mario is jumping over barrels? Just how big is Chunky Monkey in this universe anyway? Where else is this thing gonna show up? Bluey gets ditched. In Barky Boats, we see that Bluey and her classmates get their own mentor buddy. Real wholesome stuff. Until you realize that these buddies are 12 years old, and as anyone who's worked with the youth will tell you, at some point, the hormones take over and you're stuck with the consequences. Who knew that Bluey would be a victim of this? At 6 years old, she's too young for this. Mackenzie didn't deserve this. But let's be real here. One day, Bluey and Mac, it's gonna be their turn to leave the children behind. This is why public transit died. Let's go to the episode Trains to see this pristine world where people can get on a train, the train leaves on time, the train gets there where they need to go on time. Super simple, so easy. But then we find out how things went wrong. Some selfish jerks who only care about themselves. Now the train is late, then everybody's late and miserable. This is why we can't have nice things, people. But at least we all know. Bluey really dropped the ball on this one. We get a lot of good things in Cafe. How friendships grow, the birth of the bromance between Old Man Bandit and Fido. But there's the problem. Fido? Come on, guys. You've given your characters some amazing dog names. Socks, Rusty, Stripe, Snickers. But Fido? One of the most unoriginal dog names? Bro, you might as well just call him Spot. Rare L by Bluey here. And I think Princess Anna said it best about this doggo's name.
You basic.
Nana Healer is exposing the grandparent game, and we need to pay attention. Ever wonder why Gran and Papa just let the kids run the show while they're around? Especially if the Grands were super tough when they were in their prime. Well, get ready. Nana's putting us all on game right now. Let's go to Season 2 Charades, where we got Bluey, Bingo, Little Puppy Socks, and the agent of chaos herself,
Muffin.
And because Muffin's got a muffin, B&B looked to Granny to restore the balance. And what does she say?
There's only one rule.
What's that?
Everyone gets what they want.
What did you say? Nana just told us what every grandparent won't. The kids do what they want, and she doesn't even try to hide it. It's up there on the official Bluey website. They got her quoted like it's her catchphrase. Nana is truly living that golden girl life. She's retired, she's sassy, and she don't care. And that's how. This episode of Bluey completely lost me. Look, I know it's been a minute since some of us went to the cinema, but are you telling me that if a dad took his daughters to the movie theater and they spent the entire movie running around, playing tag, and being out of control, that nobody would say something? Listen, I get that Chunky Monkey, or whatever it was called, had to be a bomb because hardly anyone else was there, but Bandit, my man, where's the courtesy, the respect, the decorum? I don't know how they do in Australia, but I know that in America, that daddy-daughter date would have been canceled faster than you can say P. Diddy baby oil. Hey, yo! So, Bluey, you're telling me that you have a family trying to watch a movie and some kid is cutting up.
And everybody's okay with this?
Did I miss something?
Bluey and Bingo are a menace to society. Look no further than the episode Tickle Crabs, the one game that Bandit and Chili don't want to play. These two are willing to do just about anything for their pups, but this one game goes too far. And what do? They go into full manipulation mode. They even have a name for it. Please Face? Are you for real right now? Old Man Bandit puts down some boundaries and says, nah, I'm not feeling this one, kids. And they go into a whole behind routine to get their way. Pulling their ears down, the sad voice, and the fake tears, bro?
How dare you?
And it gets worse. Straight up lying, saying that he never plays with them. What? Then what even is this show? They even got Bandit to admit his unemployment status.
It always at work.
I'm never at work.
Have you no shame? How do you live with yourselves knowing that you're capable of such naked manipulation?
Hey!
I'm onto you two, and I'm gonna let the whole world know that. Put some respect on my boy Bandit's name. In the show, which is easily one of the best episodes in all of Bluey, they made the one mistake in this otherwise perfect episode. Bluey and Bingo go out to do a play about how Mom met Dad, and then Bluey comes out and utterly disrespects Bandit. Look at this.
Go, high five, smell this.
Nah, I gotta stand up for Old Man Bandit on this. B&B, do you know how good you have it? There are emotionally starving kids on Fox who wish they could have your dad. You want to roll the dice with, say, Peter Griffin? The selfish, despicable absentee father who only shows up long enough to make his kids' lives worse? Or how about Homer Simpson, the man who's too dumb to realize that his family is objectively better off without him? You want to live with those sociopathic patriarchs? Nah, I can't subscribe to that. Give Old Man Bandit his flowers. And I'ma say it again. Bluey is teaching you the meaning of life. You mean the show that literally everybody loves is more than just a kid's show? Oh yeah! Life's about imagination, traveling to faraway places that defy space and time. It's about touching grass, going outside and having adventures with those around you. Life's about relationships, owning your emotions and handling them with grace, that you can disagree with people and still get along with them, how to talk about your feelings, even if they're tough, and how to stand up for yourself. But most of all, it's about family, about the family you're given and the family you find, and how the powerful force of love binds us all together. Bluey isn't about a perfect family living in a perfect world. It's about a family that loves every moment, loves to laugh, and above all, loves each other. And that's how. Who said squabbling was a bad thing? In the episode Postman, Bluey gets really nervous when she sees her parents in a little disagreement. So she goes into overdrive by trying to repair the relationship that wasn't in any real danger in the first place. And she makes sure to never squabble again, only to find out that it's impossible to do so. Disagreements are gonna happen, but as long as everyone's respectful and honest, a solution is just right around the corner. I can subscribe to that, and remember to please squabble responsibly. Why couldn't Bluey just do the big sister thing? In the episode Duck Cake, with all the antics of making the cake, something gets lost in the sauce. And it's the fact that Bluey wouldn't help to clean up the living room. I already talked about it in one of my longer videos, but it still needs to be said. Why didn't Bluey just do it? It's your sister's birthday, and you couldn't even pretend to try to help out? I mean, I get it. She's 6 and all, but older siblings, tell me, how many times did you have to clean up / bail out / take the fall for the little one and it wasn't their birthday? Listen, Bluey, you may not have asked for this, but this is part of the burden of the older. Just accept it now, because it doesn't get any easier from here. Behold, Bluey's final form. So let's go to the episode Bus. Chili and Old Man Bandit are enjoying a nice little ride on the bus until they get interrupted by B&B cosplaying as a couple of sassy grannies. But I'm gonna throw in a little theory into this. I don't think Bluey was playing pretend here. I think she was just channeling her future self. Think about it. If somebody were to ask you to imagine old lady Bluey, what would you think of? A confident, if not slightly obnoxious old coot who's all about having fun, looking after others, and stopped caring what anybody thought of her decades ago. And we all see that in little old Janet. And you know what? It fits her. Love to see it. But now you know what I mean when I say Bandit gets his revenge. So remember when Bandit was utterly slandered in the show? Well, it looks like Old Man Bandit got his payback in Queens. B&B don't want the responsibility of being the queen, so the throne is left empty until a certain healer saw his opening. Bandit takes the crown and all the power that comes with it. But you know what they say about absolute power. You had it and you let it go, my guy. But hey, I get it. If my wife gave me that death glare, I'd watch myself too. But at least for a few moments. Everybody needs a Bingo in their life. Bingo is one of the most supportive and loyal characters in the world of Bluey, and she proves it in the episode Squash. Bingo and her Uncle Stripe go up against Big Sister Bluey and Old Man Bandit in a game of controller squash. But time after time, the younger sibling duo gets wrecked. It's so bad that Uncle Stripe asks Bing Bing if she wants to get another partner. But her answer creates this heartwarming gem of a moment.
No, I want to control you.
You'll probably have a better chance of winning with your dad.
No, I want us to win.
Just all the feelings, bro. She didn't quit on Stripe and try to trade him in. She stuck with him. And you need someone like that in your life. A ride or die, I want us to win warrior who will always support you, fight for you, and love you. And it's Bingo's dedication to her Unc that gives him confidence and turns the tables to win the game. And the right person can be the same for you. And that's why. Is Bluey going after gentle parenting? In Burger Shop, Old Man Bandit decides to take advice from a parenting book for some reason. Super ironic seeing how many of us take cues from him. And next thing you know, he's giving B&B total control over when they get out of the tub and go to bed.
And everybody's okay with this?
Nope. Chili tries to shut down the nonsense before Bandit finally decides to pull the plug on the Burger Shop. But notice what Bandit says here.
Can you earn your keep, please?
Nah, I'm done being a meanie parent.
He doesn't want to be a mean parent. Funny, I thought that parenting was about the kids, not the parent. Now I think that's the clapback Bluey's making here. If your parenting is more about you than your own kids, then you might need to reevaluate some things. That, and when was Bandit the mean one? Bluey's biggest party pooper. Let's go to Octopus, where Bluey and Chloe are playing a game that can best be described as the best minigame Mario Party never made. Chloe loves the game so much that she tries to run it back at home, only to run into the cinema sins of make-believe games. But actually, it's Octopi. The super analytical dad overthinks a child's game cliche. But thankfully, playtime isn't ruined. Little C and her dad find a way to patch things up, learn about sea creatures, and even find ways to improve the game. Nice going, Chloe's dad. But next time, just lighten up a little, bro. Mom school needs to be a thing. Wanting to improve her mom skills, Bluey enrolls herself into mom school and gets graded and coached on her mommy abilities. And I gotta say, this is a genius idea. Yeah, declining birth rates, nobody wants to be a parent no more, I get that. But you wanna know how many people become parents who just shouldn't? I'm not even talking about the absolute monsters that exist in this world. That's obvious. I'm talking about the parents who brought children into the world only to feed their own egos. I'm talking about the parents who didn't count the cost before popping out tiny humans. I'm talking about the parents who stupidly thought that having a baby would somehow make their lives easier or somehow fix all their problems. These are the people who need a mum school. Those folk who don't know what it takes and, let's keep it a buck, don't have what it takes. And we can't have this after the tykes are already born. Nah, people need to know beforehand if they'd be good parents, bro. Now don't ask me who's running this, cause I don't like either of the top two options, but you heard it here first. Did Bandit and Chili make the right choice? In the episode Midnight, we see a series of conversations between Bingo, Chili, and Bandit about Bingo's day at school. Bingo's been having some trouble with the new kid in town, Banjo, with him being kind of a jerk to little Bingo. Now my question is, did old man Bandit and Chili make the right call in not talking to the teacher about it? Cause I'ma tell ya, as a school counselor, I'd say about 9 times out of 10, if a kid tells a story like that to their parents, somebody at school is hearing about it the next day. But the best dog parents don't do that. They empower Bingo to take care of the issue herself, and over time it resolves itself and she actually ends up getting along with him in the end. But would it go down like that in the real world? Let me know what you think, because in the end there may not be a clear-cut answer to the question. Bluey's parents know what they're doing. For all the haters out there that think that old man Bandit and Chili just let B&B do whatever they want, this one's for you. In the episode Granddad, Bluey doesn't want to eat her pumpkin seeds. Chili gives her the classic, "It'll make you big and strong" line, to which our cheeky healer comes back with, "Shouldn't it be my choice?" But Chili ain't buying it and shuts her down. No, you don't. More parents need to see this. The kids don't know better, so stop treating them like they do. If they did know better, then they wouldn't need you, now would they? Love the kids, support them, but for the love of it all, man, be a parent and act in their best interests. Don't be lazy and don't be a coward. Don't give in. And don't let these haters fool you. What everyone misses about Baby Race. We all know that Baby Race is top shelf Bluey. Getting to see Bluey as a baby, the parenting journey of overcoming comparison, it's got something for everybody. But there's something that gets lost in the story. The struggle of first-time parents putting baby junk together. Blink and you'll miss old man Bandit getting wrecked by these cutesy, allegedly simple devices meant to entertain / corral tiny humans. But first-time parents know that the struggle is real. Why are these things made like this? Sure, the end product looks fun. Too bad you need half an engineering degree to put it together. And don't tell me it's for safety. Nah, this ain't safety, this is sadism. At least they had Bingo to get the revenge on this junk. Chili has that look. And no, not that kind of look. Don't get nasty. I'm talking about the don't play me look. The do that again, I wish you would. Look, the stare that every teacher and parent strives for. That glare, with the ability to freeze children in place, reminding them of their mortality. Remember when you were a kid, when you really screwed up and your parents would call you by your full name?
Arthur Timothy Reed, come here. Uh-oh.
Chili has taken this classic technique and amplified it. The fear, the anticipation, the dread. You see that aura oozing once she activates the Beyonce neck snap. Teach us your ways, Lady Healer. And that's what I mean when I say, Kobe would love this Bluey episode. What? You don't think the Black Mamba would be watching a quote kids show? Looks like somebody didn't know about Muse Cage. But back on topic. I'm talking about handstand. Little Bingo wants to do one thing for her birthday party, and that's pull off a handstand. And she tries and tries and tries until she gets it. And she blocks off everything to meet her goal. She's got whole B, C, and D plots running all over the place, ready to pull her off her game, but she tunes it out until she gets the job done. Pure Mamba mentality. Perhaps the only note he'd have for her is to not care if anyone saw if she did the thing. Because if she knows she did it, then that's all that matters. Who knew Bingo had that dog in her? Oh, you know what I'm talking about. IKEA will test your marriage. Flatpack had a lot going on, but perhaps the most overlooked part of the episode is the fact that Bandit and Chili's relationship was tested like never before. How? By putting together IKEA furniture. They argue, they struggle, mistakes are made. But while their kids are living out the parental experience, they go on an impromptu marriage conference. And by the end, they not only have a new patio swing, but a stronger relationship. Those guys at IKEA know what they're doing. No wonder Sweden is one of the happiest countries in the world. If you can put together furniture with your partner and still want to be with them afterwards, you're gonna make that work. Yeah, treat yourself to that meatball. You earned it. But now the truth is out that... I see what you did there, Bluey. Typewriter thought it was so clever, setting Bluey, Snickers, and Winton on an adventure where each of them wants something specific from a special person. They go through trials and dangers and overcome them to get what they want, while learning that what they wanted was actually within them the whole time. Nice try, Bluey. Well, we've all seen The Wizard of Oz before, and I gotta say, that's what I love about this show. Typewriter was a parody, and I bet a lot of people didn't even realize it. Brilliant work! But then again, someone could just say this was a big old D&D campaign. That works too. Stumpfest can save lives. Look, a lot of us know that things can be pretty tough out there for the menfolk. Insecurities, a lack of identity, and a whole bunch of scammers and con artists willing to show the way to manhood that they themselves know nothing about. But Bluey gives an answer. A bunch of bros hanging out, getting stuff done, and having family time simultaneously? This is how we solve the loneliness pandemic, people. Give the men a project, something that matters and has tangible results. Let them chop it up a little and cut loose, and let the fam in on the fun. And if they decide to indulge in a little nail bar fun, then don't judge them. Just let it happen. And that's how. This Bluey episode went too far. Mr. Monkey Jock starts out wholesomely enough. B&B have too many toys and it's time to clear out the extras. But one toy goes from yard sale fodder to best toy, Mr. Monkey Jocks. But then this stuffed animal does the unthinkable. He goes and straight up takes over the healer house. He starts with Old Man Bandit. He starts with taking his spot at the dinner table, and then he takes the kids, and then his wife? Nah, you can't do that.
That's too much, man!
This dog gives you a home, and you just swoop in like that? Next thing you know, Bandit's a monkey's butler?
You can't keep getting away with this!
Listen, if this was me, I would have shut this down long ago. Getting robbed by some smug sock monkey knockoff?
Not in my house.
The folks at Bluey were geniuses for this. So, we all know what the deal was in the episode Army, right? Jack has his first day of school, meets Rusty, and enjoys a rousing game of Army. But there's so much more to it than that. In the first moments of Army, little Jack is shown to have the classic symptoms of ADHD. He's full of energy, but also is very forgetful and has a hard time following directions. And as a school counselor, I gotta say they nailed that diagnosis down. It's a situation that Jackie has to live with, and even he's aware that he's not like other pups. But something magical happens when he meets Rusty. While playing Army, he becomes the very dog that everyone said that he couldn't. He's following instructions, remembering important facts, and is even able to sit still for long periods of time. And right there is the secret to helping other kids in Jack's situation. Do something for them that makes them care about what they're doing. It may be a game of pretend or a little role-playing, but studies show that this strategy works with kids with ADD or ADHD in overcoming the common struggles that they have. So wait a minute, did we just watch a very special episode about an issue without being given a concussion about what it's trying to say? I like it, I can subscribe to that, but now you see what I mean when I say. 3 ways to help a shy friend. In the episode Hairdressers, the world's favorite blue healer shows us how to help others who are having trouble finding their voice. First tip, don't talk for them. We saw Bluey do this at the beginning of the episode, and even if the other person never says it, they really hate it when people do that. Just because they aren't talking fast enough doesn't mean they want you to take over. Instead, do number 2 and ask questions. They can be closed questions that only have a yes or no answer, or open questions that need more detail. Start with closed questions and then grow into more open ones. And third, be patient. Just like how it took Bingo a little time to figure out what she wanted, it can take others a minute to figure things out. Don't rush them, don't cut them off, and don't assume what they want. And a bonus tip, don't stop, because it won't be just a one-time thing. And now you have... Someone explain to me how Bandit is out of shape. Let's go to Piggyback, the episode that tells you to go touch grass without telling you to go touch grass. While keeping Bingo active, the fam does a scooter race with Bandit being the finish line. But because he's Bandit, he goes the extra mile and moves the finish line for an extra challenge until he runs out of breath. But how, though? Bro, you got 2 of the most energetic puppy children in animation history. You running around with them and being active is pretty much how the show happens. Don't tell me that a backwards 40-yard dash is enough to get you out of breath. I get it, you're on vacation, but you gotta be on point, my guy. But hey, I do call him Old Man Bandit for a reason. But maybe you got a better reason in the comments, so I don't have to ask. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Get ready for Bluey life lesson number 245 in helicopter, and it gets going in the first few minutes. Stop me if you've heard this one. You got a plan, a schedule, a way that things are supposed to go, but then life happens and screws it all up. That scenario is annoying enough as an adult, but as a kid, you didn't do nothing wrong. This ain't a punishment. This is just life. Lifing. And the genius is that Bluey throw in a little play therapy with our girl controlling a copter in order to work through her own feelings of not having control of her day. And by the end, she realizes that it's okay to not be in control all the time. And sometimes, it's even better that way. Great lesson to learn early. Because let me tell you, this chick is a menace. Let's go to swim school, where Bingo, Bandit, and Chili deal with the most intense swim school ever. After dealing with Karen's antics, comes a harbinger of death herself, Margaret. As if it wasn't bad enough that she allows dobbing and snitching, are we all just gonna ignore how she pretty much tried to drown everybody? Straight up jumping on her students, giggling as they drop to the bottom of the pool like a rock? I thought this was swim school, not survivor school. No wonder you need a snitch to pass, cause you either tattle or you die. We can't let this be ignored. Bluey understands that romance is tough. You saw Fancy Restaurant, right? The one where Bingo and Bluey try to engineer a romantic night like it's a Disney Channel movie. If only if it was that simple. And maybe once upon a time it was that easy. You call ahead, look nice, show up, and boom.
It's very romance.
But for Chili and Old Man Bandit, they're played on hard mode, bro. You gotta think about the budget, make sure you don't have anything else going on, and of course, who's got the kids? Rom-coms lied to us. Romance takes time, needs a plan B, and often little things are more important than the bold and dramatic. Bluey gets adulting romance. Skip everything else. And don't even get me started on these guys. Bluey and Bingo know how to make the romance happen. In Double Babysitter, Uncle Rad and Auntie Frisky end up watching over B&B. And when there's a chance for romance between Rad and Frisky, B&B understand the assignment and get to work. They start off with the most intense game of 20 questions you've ever seen, getting personal about heartbreak and lost dreams. Then they lighten things up with some Torch Mouse, the world for once in perfect harmony. And by the end of the night, Frisky and Rad have resolved their traumas, see the love that's right in front of them, and the next thing you know, they're MIA for Christmas.
It's very romance.
Bad Mood is the best game. Of all the games that the Healer family have in their repertoire, Bad Mood is S tier, no question. Taking someone who's not feeling their best and allowing them to live out their destructive instincts through the body of another? Bro, this doesn't just sound super fun, it's genius. No, straight up therapeutic. The symbolism of being literally controlled by your emotions, allowing them to take the heat for your actions, but ultimately making the choice to step out of the bad mood and choosing another one? This gets a school counselor chef's kiss. Perfection, no notes. We need to feel our feels, but we shouldn't let them own us. And at some point, we need to move on. But that's why Bluey is goated, people, and I can subscribe to that. Muffin is overpowered. We all know that Muffin is one of the best characters in all of Bluey, but on top of being popular, she's also unstoppable. Look no further than Ice Cream. Not only is she able to con her dad into some dairy goodness while B&B are forced to watch, she doesn't even bother to share any of it, and she don't care. And her cousins try to get a fair lick. They ask politely. They appeal to the completely nonsensical rule of fairness. Shoot, Bluey even pulls a little please face to seal the deal, but it has no effect. And any Bluey fan will tell you that please face is invincible. But Muffin don't fall to such petty wiles. She's much more than the wild card. She's a straight up force. Listen, if I ever need an attack dog, you know what I want them to be like. Bluey don't care about how it looks. Today, let's go to Dunny. Yet another episode that blesses us with Australian vocabulary. Chili doesn't want the fam using the word dunny, which sends Bluey on a mission to get answers. And after using the most dangerous word a child could use.
Why?
Chili reveals the truth because she wants the healers to look good in front of others. But Bluey don't care about the optics and doesn't stop until she changes the family rules. And good on her. Doing things for the optics is dumb. If it's not hurting anybody, then who cares? But it's good to know that no matter how messy your fam might be, Let the parents sleep, man. Listen, Bluey teaches a lot of valuable lessons about getting along with others, connecting with your feelings, and all that jazz. But I gotta call the show out on this. You can't be reinforcing the harmful stereotype of the kid who wakes up their parental figure. Adulting is hard out there, kids. While most of you waste your nap time wiggling around like a worm on Mountain Dew, do you know what some of us grown-ups would do for even a little bit of shut-eye? Bump a Klondike bar. What would you do? For a good night's sleep. But what do B&B do over and over again? Wake their parents up before their time. We could do better, Bluey. We could do better. But for real, though, I finally understand the muffin stands. Everyone's got their best boy or girl in Bluey, but for a lot of us, the best pup award goes to Muffin, the agent of chaos. And though she's on my Mount Rushmore of Bluey characters too, I always wondered why. What is it about Muffy that makes others click with her? And Muffin Cone finally revealed the truth. It's the scene where Muffin spills the game.
Because it's not good for your teeth, Ham.
I want to do what I want.
There, that's it. This chick is all in. She don't care about the rules or the consequences. It's about having it her way. And come on now, we all want that, but only she's brave enough to live it. I get it now. I can subscribe to that. Go on, you mad dog. Somebody at Bluey didn't like the doctor. When you look at the episode Hospital, you can't tell me that whoever wrote this script wasn't working through some stuff. You got an emergency, you need urgent medical help, and you're confronted with an arrogant, rude, but also incompetent doctor? Dr. Bluey has the attitude of House or Dr. Cox, but is as good at practicing medicine as Dr. Spaceman.
Dr. Spaceman!
That's gotta be rough. Good thing to know that there's a caring nurse who actually knows what she's doing. But hey, if you need help with the healthcare system, I've heard of this guy. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding! You know what would have made Keepy Uppy harder? So remember at Keepy Uppy when B&B are playing this classic game, they look for a way to make the game harder. The thing is, like the end of a rom-com, the answer was right in front of them the whole time. Just stay in the living room! Are you kidding me? Because we all know if real kids were playing this in a real house, something's gonna go wrong. The balloon falls in the crevice where the kids can't get into. Somebody knocks into furniture, destroying all those definitely breakable items. And you can't tell me the balloon doesn't get stuck in the chandelier. Yeah, girls, you were already playing this thing on hard mode. The only thing you did wrong was leave. Bluey knows how to set the tone. In Magic Xylophone, the very first episode, we see B&B get into who gets the overwhelming power to freeze someone in place. And while they squabble, we see Old Man Bandit do something that some never expected. Most parents when seeing this would just shut the whole game down and tell the kids to go play something else. But not my boy Bandit. He flips the script and hijacks the game himself, forcing B&B to work together and take down their old man while also learning how to share. Most shows take a minute to figure themselves out, but not Bluey. They knew what they were from jump, and we have a great show as a result. I can subscribe to that. Just let Bingo rest, people. Let's go to barbecue, where the fam is chilling outside having a good time. Well, everyone except for Bingo. This pup's on the world's worst fetch quest while everybody else is enjoying the good life. But for some, isn't it just how it goes? Everyone else gets to channel their inner Will Smith.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
While you're slaving away, waiting for your chance to relax like everybody else. Well, I say, Bingo, you stop when you want to stop. If other people want yellow, pink, or purple peppers, let them get it themselves. But speaking of barbecue, you know what goes good with sausages? Some Bluey did some nasty work on socks. Let's go to Verana Santa, where everyone's enjoying their vacation. And of course, this is Bluey, so there's gotta be a game. But along the way, Socks gets a little nibbly with Bluey, which happens since, you know.
It's just a baby.
But Bluey decides to go all Michael Jordan on her and take it personally.
It became personal with me.
To the point where she's icing Socks out of the game as revenge. Bluey, come on, it's Christmas. You're gonna tell me that you've never done anything out of pocket that would justify some retribution? Okay, let's go over to Bingo and see how many times she's been wanting to get back at you. Come on now, Bluey. Do better. You can either be a Bartleby or a Monkey Jocks this Christmas. These two toys couldn't be any more different, but they both show us what kind of person we can be. You could either be the person who lets things slide off their back, or be the jerk that plots and schemes. You could be the one that welcomes others, or the one who shuts people out. You could be the one that brings people together, or tears them apart. You can make other people's hearts grow 3 sizes, or try to steal their joy. The choice is clear. Be a Bartleby, not a Mr. Monkey Jocks. Merry Christmas, everybody! Shadowlands could have ended very badly. When we look at Shadowlands, we see a situation we've all lived through back in the day. everyone's playing a game, then there's that one dum-dum who wants to bend the rules because they can't hack it. In the real world, we know how it goes. We either let that cheater just kill the game with all their shenanigans, or you just dump the chump and play the game the way it was meant to be played. But apparently Bluey is better than the rest of us. She demands that Coco plays by the rules that they agree to, and doesn't compromise a bit. And in the end, Coco gets with the program and even starts to master the game by the end. Dang, while some of us were ending friendships with our games, Bluey was making them stronger. I can subscribe to that. Why do the healers play this game? We all know Daddy Robot, B&B get Old Man Bandit to be a robot that does all their chores, and then hijinks ensue. But I gotta ask, why is this not one of the games that Bandit and Chili hate to play? I understand the humiliation that comes from playing dance mode in public, and we already talked about what can happen when you get the wrong doctor in hospital. But Daddy Robot? The game where your kids con you into doing their chores? No. Bro, I'll take tickle crabs over this flimsy excuse of a game. Hard pass. Bingo starts the spy revolution. Let's go to Spy Game, where Bluey's main character syndrome starts acting up again, and she's demanding everyone play the game her way. But after a while, Bingo gets tired of the tyranny and stages a walkout at the spy headquarters. And without Little B, the whole game falls apart. There's definitely a lesson in all that. Respect yourself enough to walk out if other people aren't respecting you. Don't allow yourself to be ignored and taken for granted. Take a stand and say no every once in a while. And don't do it to be petty or to get back at anyone. Do it for you. It worked out for Bingo. Maybe it will for you too. Bingo is spitting game on mindfulness. Let's go to the weekend. Yeah, can we do that, please? Where B&B and Old Man Bandit have the whole day to themselves, and they're doing their thing, playing games, having fun, the usual, nothing to see. Until Bingo goes to a plant and just stops. She's out of the game, she's not even paying attention to whatever's going on around her, she's just taking in the sight of a leaf bug. And we need to be able to do that sometimes. Just pump the brakes on life for a sec and just take in what's in front of you. Observe your surroundings, let your mind wander and just be. It's a really good idea. Science told me and everything. And don't say you don't have the time, because at the end of the day, we make time for the things we want to do. So go make some time for yourself. Bandit's secret weapon. Let's go to Fruit Bat, and stop me if you've heard this one before. It's time for the little ones to get ready for sleep, but they just don't want to retire for the night.
Yeah, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
And while most of us struggle to get the kids to even take a bath, Old Man Bandit shows us the way with the power of distraction.
What's that?
Don't want a bath? Fine, then you can't play this awesome game. Don't want to go to sleep? Guess you miss out on this thing I got planned that conveniently requires you to do as you're told. We should be taking notes here. Gotta subscribe to that. Are you ready for your bedroom change? When we look at bedroom, this episode can work as a metaphor for our year coming to an end. Like, each year's like a bedroom, and every New Year's we move from one room to the next. And just like with Chili, Bluey, and Bingo, change can bring a lot of feels. You can be excited about the new that's coming, or just ready to move on from your current situation. You might be nervous or scared about the new room you're going into and wonder if it's gonna match up with your old one. Or maybe you think that your new room won't be that different from the old one. That happens too. No matter what kind of room you're moving into, just know that you're not doing it alone. Like B&B, there's always someone you can slide a note to. See you in 2025. Sorry, Old Man Bandit, I gotta call you out on this one. In Obstacle Course, we see Bandit crush Bluey in some friendly competitions, and they even talk about the importance of not letting the kids win all the time. But then he says that losing all the time doesn't change anything. I think the Robinsons have something to say about that. These freaks actually celebrate when they fail. And what did they tell themselves after every L? And that's exactly what Bluey does when she loses the first obstacle course. She practices until she gets it right. And this year, even if you feel like you've been losing, keep moving forward until you get that win. Happy New Year, everybody! Uncle Stripe can get the job done. Let's go to Horsey Ride, where B&B are visited by Socks and the Agent of Chaos herself, where Baby Socks turns Bluey's special toy into her personal chew toy. Socks doesn't know any better, she's just a baby.
I'm just a baby.
But still, this can't go on. So it's up to Uncle Stripe to shut it down. Except he punks out the second his child tries to fight back. Bro, are you kidding me right now? This is what parenting is about. Showing your child the way. Telling them right from wrong. You can't just shrug and walk away. But I gotta say though, what he did there explains a lot about his kids though. Bluey has no chill, man. Let's go to Wagon Ride, where everybody's favorite blue healer gets really ticked off that Old Man Bandit wants to do a talk with his friends as they go for a walk. Chick, Come on, give your dad a break. Every episode, this trusty dog gives you his attention and at times gives up his whole body for your entertainment. And the one time bro wants to have a little social life outside of the pre-K to first grade demographic, you want to dog him out? Girl, please. At this point, you can walk yourself to the park. Bingo stands up for herself. Let's go to Hotel, where B&B are pulling some Hotel Mario action and running their own inn. But as the game goes on, Bluey gives Bingo less and less choices to make. And let's be real for a sec, sometimes that's us. Life is bossing us around and we feel like we can't do anything about it. But Bingo reminds us of the truth. Little B storms out of the game and decides, I'm not doing this if this is how I'm going to be treated. And we need to be willing to do the same thing. I'm not talking about rage quitting or doing anything drastic, just seeing your worth, saying what you need to say, and not coming back until the situation has changed. It worked out for a 4-year-old dog. I think it could work out for you too. Bluey just called us all out. Let's go to Bob Bilby, where Bingo takes her class's version of a Flat Stanley home for the weekend. But it's here that we see the healers do something that we almost never see them do. Be on their devices, phones, tablets, TVs, you name it, they're on it, leaving nothing but a trail of faces staring at screens for the album. It's not until everyone puts the tech away that the world opens up. Message received, Bluey. The temptation to shut off your brain in front of a screen can be so enticing. But if we truly want to experience life this year, we may need to pack up the screens and venture out. I just think it's funny that they're telling us to get off our devices while we're watching the show from our devices.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Old Man Bandit just gets it. Let's go to Bike, where Bluey rides the struggle bus hard, learning how to ride a bike. But Old Man Bandit shows her how life works with the world's oldest hobby, people watching. Bandit and Bluey watch as different doggos around the park work to overcome their own difficulties and trials. They see the pain, the tears, and despair, but also the determination, the creativity, and ultimately, the triumph. Seeing the human experience can truly be an inspiring story of seeing others and ourselves become more. But Bluey's right about this too.
And the world is silly.
You have no idea.